What's up, folks? Welcome to another episode of Watching Paint Dry here on Another Letdown. My name is Zach from Another Letdown Media, and this is the show where we hang out usually after we should have thought about going to bed on a Saturday night and work through the ridiculous backlog of miniatures we've accumulated that need painting. But my daughter went to sleep quickly tonight, so I'm trying to get this stream in while she's still asleep. She's been waking up like early the last few weeks, so it's been notoriously hard, and of course my wife is working tonight, so I'm by me onesies. I'm got the baby monitor off to my side. Normally I don't do this alone, and we'll be joined by Broody Gambit when we can. I'm sure he's on his way, but I thought I'd kick this off and get things going, so we don't run into too many problems. Those are the words. So my initial plan tonight was to paint Gwen Stacy, but she broke in between getting her from the cabinet to my desk, so she is currently off to the side being repaired. I then considered painting Joker, but couldn't be bothered, so it became Baron Strucker from Marvel Comics. We're painting him after his first appearance in Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos. I believe it was number 5. So yeah, Wolfgang von Strucker is up on the docket tonight. As with all the shows that we host here on the channel, we believe in civil rights for absolutely everyone and being as inclusive as possible, so any comments or activity actively working against that goal are not welcome and will not be tolerated. Let's paint. Press button. Where is button? It's not on my stream deck because I don't usually hit this button. There it is. Got it. Okay. Actually, I think it might. I think it actually might be on my stream deck. Hold on. Yeah, it is. All right. Right off the bat, we're learning and growing. Where is that button? Where's that button? There it is. Learning and growing. All right, cool. All right, painting time. Baron Strucker, let's go. Let's turn on the light. That's better. We got this little bugger down here. We're going to zoom in on him. There he goes. All right, he's holding a fireball. This is like somewhere in between his like MCU look and his original comics accurate costume. I'm gonna go for as comics accurate as I can, and the majority color here is green. He does have this cool like two-tone green effect that Lee and Kirby sort of fabricated for him. I've also got a lot of yellow to use. We're going to be using mostly Capri Sunshine yellow here, but it's not exactly Hydra yellow. I might actually dredge into the drawer a little bit and see what we got, but we'll see. We'll burn that bridge when we cross it. Green first. I need like a bright green, not Ogre Bogey, although that might be some part of it. Problem is, like, okay, succulent green, that'll work. That's pretty close. Might combine this with a little bit of that Ogre Bogey and see what we can come up with. Oh, hold on. There we go. All right, get some of that on there. Oh, Broody's here.
Sorry about the delay.
No trouble. He's out here. Oh, and of course I need to make this bigger.
We're live already?
Yeah, we're live.
Okay, awesome. I figured that was the case.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure.
Of course, I gotta configure your thing here. Is that it? Got him. Because I closed tabs and it was like, I don't recognize you.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Better?
I can see my screen and your screen on the Twitch.
Yes. Okay. No, I just wanted to make sure that my capture was doing the thing I told it to. I'm painting Baron Strucker.
Nice.
Yeah. I was going to do Gwen Stacy, but she broke.
Oh, that's no good.
It happens. My camera's definitely been like wonked around a bunch this week because I've been setting up for ALD retro mods.
No, stop it. I laid down the new sheet for the wet palette, and then it started curling up on the edges.
Oh, it does that every time. Like, there we go. A little bit of that in there. Trying to create like a comics accurate bright green is an absolute nuisance. Oh, I know why it's gotten knocked around. Yeah, that looks okay. Oh, but I think I may have done it. Yeah, that looks pretty good. All right, cool. We'll add a little blue to it later on. So how was your week?
It was good.
Yeah?
Rather uneventful.
Oh, that's good. That's genuinely, like, I would take that. My weeks have been exhausting to say the least.
Still got a couple more weeks of school.
Just the one. But the kids are done, the teachers are done. We're just like, nah, just get us out of here, man.
Yeah. GTFO.
Yep. And like I was telling my wife this morning, it's been really rainy here, which doesn't help anything. Like
we had some really bad storms yesterday.
Yeah, I would expect it's probably the same storm system, honestly. We absolutely got hammered yesterday coming home. Like, my daughter and I were genuinely laughing at how hard it was raining. I think she was mostly laughing at how hard I was laughing, but you know. But yeah, it was a mess, and that sort of melancholy that just sets in when it's storming and you can't go outside, even like whether you want to or not. It's just like, oh, come on. And so you know, Kate, like my wife went to work today and she was like, well, are you like, did I upset you with something? I'm like, no, not at all. Like, I'm just little thing, when it's rainy and gross, little things add up. And it's like, my Switch 2 isn't here yet. Like, I
haven't even gotten to order mine.
Yeah. But like when I you know, the fact that I pre-ordered it was like, okay.
Yeah.
I should have it.
You were supposed to get it like
on launch day. Like my expectation was I'd get it on launch day. And I didn't. That was frustrating. Like my music collection is kind of stagnated. Not that, like, I have plenty of music, but I've listened to it over and over and over again. I'm just sick of it. I need something new. And I don't have any money to get anything right now. I was supposed to go to a Comic-Con tomorrow, and I can't because childcare. But that's, like, again, it's all trivial stuff. Things that really don't matter that much. That just pile on.
Yeah.
And so God's bless my wife. She's gonna try and take the kid to the park tomorrow. It's supposed to be nice tomorrow, so they're gonna go to the park and let me just like rest a little, which will be well needed.
That's good.
Yeah. But I have been very interestedly reading and watching all the Switch 2 sort of like tips and tricks when you get yours videos.
Jailbreak it right away.
Yeah, right. Turn it into a brick. Although I guess someone found an exploit this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a giant security something or other. It did little more than launch a YouTube browser, but like the fact that it can do that it opens all kinds of doors, which is interesting. And I'd be shocked if Nintendo doesn't, patch it right away, but if one exists, there must be others, I guess, is the prevailing logic. I don't know. Jailbreaking devices that are brand new, like, as someone who mods handhelds, like, that is something I do, I don't love these people who are out here just like, okay, we want this to be the perfect device immediately and bugger the people who made it. Like, that just seems disrespectful to me. Modding something with technology that came out in the last, or like modding a 20-year-old device with technology that came out in the last 3 years, that seems fine, because that technology wasn't available at the time that it was created.
Yeah.
I don't know. But of course, it is Summer Game Fest weekend, and you and I we're eating well.
Yep.
Because there is a new Scott Pilgrim game coming out from the people who made the original. It's the very same team. And I am excited to try again.
I mean, the first game was pretty good. I think we only had problems with like the online play.
Exactly, and we learned our lesson there. Like the Switch version, definitely not ideal for online play, even if it is the ideal for the game itself. Like, and I'm sure Switch 2 rectifies a lot of that situation, but also like I'm worried with Switch 2 that like I am going, like, as per usual, I will be buying physical copies of games this console generation. I have been for PlayStation the whole time so far. In fact, I think I got the God of War, not Ragnarok, Data Boy. We'll call it Data Boy, digitally, but that's because it was a PS4 game. Regardless, with Switch 2, I intend to get physical copies of games where I can. The problem is this game key card nonsense.
Yeah, the physical games aren't really the games. They're just...
Well, they are for mainline Nintendo stuff and like Cyberpunk 2077, which is a huge game. I don't profess to know much about the situation other than the fact that most third-party developers are using game key cards. And I am not interested in collecting game key cards. 20 years from now, when I go to install that game, I won't be able to because the servers won't exist.
Yep.
And basically game preservation is dead.
I mean, it happened with movies.
It sure did. And this is a conversation that my buddy and I have on an almost weekly basis. Like, his brother and I are, as I said, diehard physical media collectors. But I'm getting a little more specific with my physical media. Like, Captain America Brave New World, I didn't enjoy, so I'm not going to buy it. I mean, I enjoyed it. It was fine. But,
Not worth buying.
Correct. Thunderbolts, on the other hand, was amazing. And I really hope that physical media sales like pick it up because it's a really good movie. It's the first good Marvel movie in a while, or a good superhero movie in a while, and yeah, I'll definitely be buying the physical copy of that. But my buddy Tim is like, why are you buying physical copies of these things that are, like, I'm sorry, they're like the hottest movie commodity ever. If Disney Plus folds tomorrow, Netflix will have that in the blink of an eye. They'll have the entire MCU. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's fair. But also...
There's still something to be said about the fact that Disney Plus is already like edited movies
Right.
after the fact.
Yeah. And I don't know. I just like there's something about being able to like pop a disc into a drive and have it play. I don't need to worry about my internet connection being stable. I don't need to worry about I'd say the power going out, but of course, obviously, to operate a TV, you need the power. Well, you don't. There's portable ones, and I don't know. I just like if I like a movie enough, I want to have it. I want to be able to watch that forever. Ocean's 11 has my favorite movie of all time has come and gone off of Netflix like 900 times. I clicked on it the other day because it said new or newly added. I was like, and it immediately is like resume playback. I was like, oh, so this was on Netflix a while back. And of course, I do own that physically. But yes, there's something to be said for the convenience.
There's convenience at that point in time.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. It's an interesting discussion, but like, it really frustrates me that physical media is going the way of the past. A lot of people online are like, you're not buying a new console. You're paying for the right to play it. And I was like, yeah. What's your point here?
It's essentially what the Xbox already was.
Right.
Like, not the console as a whole, but I mean, for all intents and purposes, with the way the games worked, like, that's what you were already doing.
Right, exactly. And, I like Xbox Game Pass. I use it regularly. I just wrapped up playing Indiana Jones that way. I was about to say with Scott Pilgrim, like, if Scott Pilgrim comes to Game Pass, I know how we're playing it, But I also think that Microsoft may actually, for once in their existence, be ahead of the curve.
Mm-hmm.
I think the idea of a proprietary console is kind of dying too. I wonder how much longer Nintendo can keep their first-party games on their own hardware. Like, that is a genuine curiosity of mine. So I didn't even ask, what are you painting tonight?
Working on those clones again.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Just finishing up on them.
Yeah, so I titled the episode. I titled the episode "Baron Strucker Goes to Space." You got what?
I got the base coat and wash down last week, and so now I'm just
okay. So you're doing
the layering and highlighting.
Nice.
So once again, working with whites is tough. So I started with the gray sear as the bottom layer, because then you can wash and it looks really good. And now I'm putting an ivory to coat most of the stuff, and then I will highlight with a matte white.
Nice. Good call. Good call. Where the heck is my... Uh-oh. There's my paper towel. There it is. It's a paper towel, anyway. Alright, I need to add a little blue on one side and a little yellow on the other. See how that does.
Did I tell you that a couple weeks ago I managed to break out Augs?
Oh, really? Yeah, I think you did, but like it was one of those things that I wasn't super paying attention.
Yeah, but a friend of mine came over and we ended up playing the Batman animated series one.
Oh, nice.
And it was a lot of fun.
That's sick. I've been working so hard on other thing that I haven't, like, I mentioned Augs to some of my students once, and they were like, that sounds really cool. And I was like, it is. There are better things, but it's cool. Or I shouldn't really say that there are better things. I'm working on there being better things.
But it's really neat, all the new mechanics and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does add a lot.
I was worried that the under fire would be really brutal.
Yeah.
But it was not as bad as I thought it would be.
Oh, good.
So like since they have guns and stuff, they have what's under fire, and so certain enemies with guns, if they shoot at you, I think the rule is like if they make 2 attacks against you in a single turn, you are under fire from that unit.
Yeah.
And if you end up ending your turn without breaking line of sight or defeating that unit, you were just instantly killed or KO'd.
Yeah, it sounds a lot rougher than it is.
Yeah. I when playing, like, the other thing they changed was they don't have enemy spawn points anymore. They just have enemies that are tougher.
Right.
So like all your henchmen and minions just are a little bit harder to get rid of, but they don't keep spawning constantly.
Right.
Which is just another different way of thinking about how everything works. So so yeah, like I was a little bit more worried about, it's like, oh, well, how am I going to get rid of these gunners when they have like so much more health now? And
yeah,
but it wasn't that bad.
No, they actually did a pretty good job balancing it, really.
But yeah, it was the first time I'd ever actually gotten a chance to play the Batman one.
Oh, okay. So I think Chamali and Adam and I played it briefly before getting frustrated with Augs, as a general statement. It's such a cool system, and it really is. It just wasn't exactly what the three of us were hoping for, which is where Valor came from. I mean, now you haven't gotten a chance to play Valor have you?
No, I have not gotten a chance to play with you guys.
Okay. I mean, we're suddenly into Valor 2.0. Like, it is become a much different machine at this point. We're happy. We're increasingly happy with it. Our biggest squabble was over formatting a spreadsheet.
Well, it's very important, so...
It is, but by comparison to what we were actually working on, it's fairly trivial.
I was mostly just being facetious.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's important in so much as we need to read it.
Yeah.
I think I got his color right this time. This sounds like Battle Network music. Realizing once again you can't hear it.
Nope. So I started Drowned City today.
Yes, you mentioned that. That's so cool.
I was super excited because I built my Michael McGlenn deck and I had all my guns. And so, comedically, I literally had all my guns. So
nice.
Like I built the deck, and those decks are 30-card decks.
Yep.
Your opening hand is like 5 cards. So I was like, what is a good number of guns to kind of try and make sure that I kind of have some sort of weapon to start with? So I was like, okay, I will take 2 copies of 5 different guns.
Sure.
I'm like, that's reasonable. A third of my deck, I'll be able to find a weapon, hopefully, like, theoretically, with my mulligan, I should be able to find at least a gun. I drew 5 of them in my opening hand.
Love it.
No, I drew 4 of them in my opening hand. And so I was like, well, I don't need this many, so let me mulligan one of them. And so I mulliganed one and got the second copy of that one in particular.
Oh.
I was like,
feel bad mulligans, though.
Yeah. And so I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna have my gun. I'm gonna have some guns out. I'm gonna have some backups. Like, this will be great. This will be fine. Then the first like several cards I drew were more guns.
Oh my god.
And I was like, this feels terrible, because the mechanic of the scenario, I couldn't kill anything. Because like you're going around Arkham, like interrogating other gangsters.
Right.
And so the goal is to gather clues, and then you spend clues based on the enemy's health, and then you discard them, and then you like get clues on the act, and that's how you advance the act.
Right.
It was like the entire, like, all the locations are full of all these bad guys that I can't investigate and I can't kill because we need to let the cluevers get the clues and spend the clues on them. So I just set the entire scenario just like, this sucks.
Yeah.
Until like the very end, when it was just became an entire like gang fight between the O'Banions and the Sheldons.
Love that.
In which case I just went hog wild and just started murdering everything. Sorry, I murdered all of the Sheldons because as Michael McGlenn, I am an O'Banion.
Right. So Drowned City, that's the Cthulhu one. That's the Big Daddy, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So hopefully now that we got us some experience and I can level up my deck a little, my first planned purchase is Underworld Market.
Yep.
Which will let me pull 10 illicit cards out of my deck into a separate deck that I get to draw from once per turn, of which all of my guns are also illicit. So my plan is to put all of my guns in the Underworld deck, so once per turn I will be able to draw a gun as needed.
Nice.
And then my like actual deck will be filled with other cards that I could use or need, and then it doesn't like clog up my hand, and I don't get those bad mulligan starts and such.
Yeah, that'll be solid.
So I also cooked some pizza for dinner tonight.
Nice.
Which took a lot longer to clean up because there was flour everywhere and just a lot of mess.
I recently managed to reconstruct the Kilroy's pizza breadsticks.
Mm-hmm.
And they were delicious. with some help from a very willing Bonzi buddy. As I sent him probably 4 different times to Kilroy's on quote-unquote research.
Nice.
It's going to be weird not going to Gen Con this year, I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
Like, I need the year off. In a year where I know I'm not going to be making any money at Gen Con, like...
With everything else going on?
Yeah, I just need to be home. Or visiting family and friends. Like, there's talk about going to visit Adam. There's talking about going to visit my sister. Like, you know, I want to do family things right now. And Gen Con is not that. As much as I love all the people out there, I see them every year. Like, a year off does not hurt. And everybody was super, like, understanding about that, which was good.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Boy, without the yellow, this guy looks real weird. This dude looks really weird without the yellow. Because, like, I'm using, like, 3 different shades of green, all fabricated. And... without both the yellow and the black, it looks really strange. Nice thing about TT Combat, though, is their yellows are actually good. Okay. Where did that pin go? Oh, wait a minute, this is a new drawer. Oh, right. Let's use one of these guys. I'm running over files. Hey, what's up?
Kista.
Oh, it's our new friend from the other day. Welcome back. It's our chill painting night. Allow me to introduce you to crew member Rudy Gambit, Mike. He is our resident monkey handler. Oh dear. And we do have several monkeys around the crew. So it's kind of nice to have a trained professional. He genuinely is a monkey handler. Like, that is career-wise what he does. But between Alex and Greg, we actually do benefit somewhat from a trained monkey handler sometimes. And the longer you stick around, the more you'll be exposed to the likes of them. Oh. Okay. He's asking, or our new friend is asking where you work as a monkey handler.
I work at Wake Forest Baptist Hospital and School of Medicine. Now I guess it's like part of Advocate Health and
yeah.
I'm involved in primate research, and I have 200 monkeys. I pretty much operate. I don't operate. Where I work at is a fancy retirement home for research monkeys.
Yeah.
So they don't have to be euthanized at the end of studies.
It's pretty awesome.
Mm-hmm. Too wet.
Out of context, that is a very strange phrase. It is really, really awesome. It's always fun to pick Mike's brain about the primate research and stuff. They have a lot of them have very cool names too.
Yep. Especially the ones I get to name.
Yeah.
Because I usually pick, like,
let's be real.
From,
I was gonna say they're dorky names.
I pick characters from like books and other things. I have a whole set from Sentinels of the Multiverse. I have a set of like Brandon Sanderson characters.
Yeah.
I did not do the set. Someone else suggested doing Transformers for a set and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles for a set.
Which would be very on brand for you, either one of those. But
like, no, it definitely would be. But like, sometimes people like look at them and it's like, "Did you name these?" Like, no, I actually did not name those ones.
Yeah.
One funny story: we had like one old girl came from like Oregon, I think, university. She had cancer of some kind. I forget which kind. It's been several years. And so she got sent to us for like treatment and stuff because she couldn't be in her protocol anymore. And her name was Dixie, I think. Or maybe it was Candy.
So one of the Kongs.
Yeah, it was one of the Kongs. And so when we like got her and like got another girl with her, like since she already had a name, I suggested the other one of the pair, so like Dixie or Candy or whatever, whichever one. So I'm like, oh look, they've already got one of the Kong girls. Like let's
complete the set. One. Yeah.
And then like Candy ended up dying, like after a couple years. And from Oregon again, we got another shipment of girls, and then we got Dixie. But we already had the Dixie because we already renamed it. So I was like, I didn't look back, but I'm like, were they originally paired and then they got separated? Like, is that where their names came from?
Also, hot take, Dixie Kong, underrated, lead character in a Donkey Kong game. She was what, DK3?
She was in 2, but it's like
she was in 2, yeah.
Yeah,
well, like she was like Diddy's girlfriend or something like that.
And then sometimes we're just kind of like are lazy and do ChatGPT like theme names or whatever. Not always
Sure.
ChatGPT, but it's easy when you just go to ChatGPT and it's like, I need like 7 monkey names that are all based off of flowers or something.
Right. Yeah, because sometimes you just can't be arsed.
Yeah.
Honestly, I have not played Tropical Freeze. I'm like late to the party on Donkey Kong, really. Like, I only just played Diddy's Conquest a few months ago. I played the Donkey Kong Country gajillions of times. I'm still not very good at it, but I guess that's on brand, right?
I feel like the Donkey Kong Country Returns was really good, and then they made that sequel, Tropical Freeze, that they ended up remaking like 4 times before they did anything again with Tropical Freeze. Although I think they did just remake Tropical Freeze or the Donkey Kong Country Returns again.
Yeah, Donkey Kong Returns HD or whatever.
Yeah, so it's like after 3 different versions of Tropical Freeze, they came out with the first one again. I enjoyed both of them. I also really enjoyed playing as Funky Kong, and then in Tropical Freeze they made Funky Kong like super easy mode.
Oh, that's
and nice. I was like, oh, it's like deliberately added to make it incredibly easy. I was like, this is not fun. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, and the whole one of the consents of the Donkey Kong franchise is they're tough. Like, they're hard. But yeah, Dixie Kong is so. My buddy Josh is a Tropical Freeze speedrunner. And for a while he was like number 4 in the world.
That's
or
impressive.
something like that. Yeah, he was good. He's fallen off it since. Josh is the attention span of a gnat. Like he'll get hyper focused on something for a while, and then just like ignore it forever. But he was always manning Dixie. The water level.
Yeah, I usually will main Diddy unless I have Funky Kong as an option, except for how they made Funky in Tropical Freeze.
Tropical Freeze, yeah.
I like the rocket barrel. I like the pop guns.
Yeah. Looks good. Oh dear. Massive paint building on my brush. Like just behind the bristles, and I don't love that. Of course, I also don't have any fingernails to clean it up with. Oh, worth noting. So I scribbled on my thumbnail last week, as I'm wont to do as a painter. It somehow managed to actually last the whole week, which is concerning.
You're not washing your hands frequently enough.
I wash my hands constantly. I have a 2-year-old, almost 3-year-old.
Man, it's hard. Man, I can't believe it's been that long.
I mean, usually it comes off like the day after, in the shower.
No. How long it's been since Car's been born?
Oh,
not how long the
too.
stain's been on your finger. Almost 3 is like mind-boggling.
I know. And Maeve is due in September. Obviously, that means we'll be on hiatus again for a while, but
yeah, just
we will return.
let me know.
Yep. We always come back. Okay, man, that yellow really does a lot to bring this together. All right, his H. Oh, the actual letter H is yellow. All right, I'll just use. It's like a yellowy orange. Can I just go with straight spotlight yellow? No, that's not gonna be enough contrast. All right, we're gonna try this. Just a little bit of that in there. And for added bite, brick. Not a single stock color on this mini so far. Do. Okay, orange tick. Now the yellow, and it goes on top of it. Whoa, that's not where they used to be. Sweet.
Yeah.
Oh, it's always good. Always feels good when a plan comes together.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. More pigment, less water. So my friend who is a sales rep for Nintendo was telling me all week long how much of an absolute disaster this launch was from a PR standpoint. Like all the stores were handling it completely differently.
Yeah.
Like Walmart was doing concerning things. Well, no, they didn't. Adam and I were talking about this. I don't actually know a single real person who got their pre-order canceled. Now, do I believe that it's? Does that mean that it's not happening? No, of course not. I'm sure it is, but there's got to be reasons with why pre-orders were being canceled, not just randomly. Anyway, Walmart was dispatching like regular employees with Switch 2s in their cars to people's houses at like 6 o'clock in the morning.
That's weird.
Super weird, right? Like, I'm sorry, I'm a teacher. If I had pre-ordered through Walmart, that means that potentially my students get to know where I live. I'm not comfortable with that. I'm not okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
I guess they'd be.
Plus, you got a whole bunch of liability issues if,
right?
Like if they're on the job driving, and like if there's an accident or anything, that's a whole mess that legal would have to work through for Walmart, and it would set them up for like massive lawsuits and
problems. So I don't know. It was. There was a lot of concerning stuff going down. You know, Target not shipping things like, oh yeah, we'll have day one inventory, and then not shipping out pre-orders until day of.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm sorry, it's not why I pre-ordered the console. And Best Buy just being completely unclear about anything, that was weird.
I was gonna say, every time I was looking at Best Buy, it was set up to only be like you could only get it in person.
Right. Like GameStop was kind of on the up and up, but then GameStop stapled sales receipts to the box and punctured the screen. I shouldn't laugh, but God, how incompetent do you have to be? Yeah. So that was whole thing was just a madness show.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I think it's time for some flesh tone here. Where is my rumble skin? Ah, man, dude, it's I gotta say thank you again for this Romita sketch. Like, it's so nice to just look up in front of me here and see this beautiful John Romita Jr. art. Like, God, it's so cool. Thank you so much.
Not a problem.
Okay. Now this guy is bald as the day is long, which makes painting his flesh very, very easy. So I'm trying to figure out, like, I did not buy Mario Kart 8 for Switch.
You mean for the Switch?
For Switch One
and Wii,
and Wii U. The last Mario Kart that I bought was probably Mario Kart 7 for DS.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoy Mario Kart.
Yeah.
But I'm bad at it. Like, I'm really bad at it. I was good at Mario Kart Wii and Double Dash. Like, I was genuinely. But then after that, I just, like, it got too complicated. Like, the whole coins thing, I was like, I don't even want to get your coins out of here. So I'm really debating getting Mario Kart World. Like, it looks so much fun. But, like, I'm not going to play it online. Because I don't play anything online.
Yeah.
Except, like, weird co-op stuff. But... So is there going to be enough content to justify an $80 price point? And I just don't know.
Yeah, that's an outrageous...
It's such a high price. And I can't think of the last game that I've... Full stop. That's had $80 worth of content. Adam and I were talking recently about how the games that I've found the most enjoyment in the last 5 years have all been like random Humble Bundle games.
Yeah.
Like just cheap indie games that are cute and fun and that's not to say that AAA games aren't fun. That's definitely not what I'm saying. But their indie counterparts are just more fun to me at this point in my life. And I don't know why that is. I really don't. But so it's really going to take some deciding to get me on Mario Kart. I know it's going to be a while before casual people start adopting the Switch 2 and start realizing that it is indeed something different.
It's kind of like the same issue with like the Wii to the Wii U.
Yeah.
The Wii was so fundamentally different that it drew such a large disparate like sales market with all like the old people and like geriatrics getting it for retirement homes and children, and they're not going to be the ones to recognize like a new system is a really new system or whatever.
Right. Like even my niece who, you know, loves her Switch and uses it regularly, like she's not going to get a Switch 2 anytime soon. But she's got to finish high school. And that's her priority right now. So it's like, maybe once my niece gets it and like I have someone to play with, then I'll look into it. Like, but I also, you know, like I said, I don't want to buy things digitally.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows? Maybe it is like a Mario Kart Wii or Double Dash experience where I'm gonna want to play it in 20 years. Like, I have a copy of Double Dash right on the other side of that screen, and I love it. I can't wait to rip the ISO and put it on my flippy drive.
Is the Mario Kart Double Dash one of the like GameCube games that are available on the new Nintendo Switch?
No, it's only Wind Waker, Soul Calibur, and F-Zero.
Which Soul Calibur?
2.
The one with Link?
Yes. Another one that I have right on the other side of the screen.
Sorry, Wind Waker, Soul Calibur 2, and what was that last one? F-Zero?
F-Zero GX, or whatever it is.
Yeah, I'm kind of bummed out with the, like, I'm not gung-ho about picking up a Switch 2, but when they did their whole, it's like, we're going to try and prevent scalpers, and so we're going to have special pre-orders available through Nintendo, and you have to jump through all these hoops through Nintendo Online.
Yeah.
And, like, I met all the criteria, and I haven't even gotten an email to order one yet, and the console's already out, and tons of people are getting it from not Nintendo at that point in time, like through Target and GameStop, and then it's just being scalped at this point in time.
Yeah.
I'm like, Nintendo, if that was your purpose, you should have really done more for that.
Really go nuts on that, yeah. And I had the same response to that. Like, I kind of predicted that that's sort of what was going to happen there. I think their method was really good.
Yes.
But they needed to really lean into it. I think the idea was really good.
Yeah. But they needed to make sure that there was enough available, and especially like the pre-order should have opened up early. And I know there was the kerfluffle with the whole tariff thing, that they like delayed the pre-orders in North America.
Yeah, all of North America.
But even aside from that, like that should have been planned for a bit better.
Well, especially, I mean, they saw the writing on the wall. Like, they moved manufacturing to Vietnam and Cambodia from China. Mm-hmm. So you'd think they would have kind of built that in, but I feel like the general consensus is Doug Bowser's a bit of an idiot.
Yeah. He was clearly hired just because of his name.
I know, right? Like, there's no way. There's no way he wasn't.
Also, given how much he's like leaned into it, like all of the decorations of his office whenever he does press conferences.
Or, he has like the Bowser lapel.
It's all Bowser memorabilia, stuff like that. I'm like, they just told you to lean into this, didn't they? Like that had to be the only reason you got hired.
kind of gotten to the point where I don't really know what I'm doing with this mini, but I'm just like kind of guessing. It's coming out okay. It's not exactly a character. Like I said, he was not my first choice of crew paint today. He wasn't even my second choice.
So I got a painting question for you.
Go on.
Have you ever noticed how, like, metallic paints, they seem to be so much runnier than normal paints?
I think they have to use more medium in them to, like, basically prevent them from deteriorating. But, like, yes, I'm looking right at this shiny gold right here. I'm going to put it right under my document camera because you can see the amount of pigment or the amount of medium in there.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a paint I use all the time.
Because whenever I end up shaking a bottle up of any sort of metallic paint, like in the dropper, it always seems to, as soon as I unscrew the lid, it just like is flowing out. Like even if I have it still upright.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why does it do that? Like, why is it so thin and runny that it is essentially just ejecting itself out of the dropper without me having to let gravity do anything with it?
Yeah. So I have this massive green gradient on my wet palette right now. I'm just grabbing random chunks of it, and this is actually really fun. So I was a little bummed today. My daughter woke up and asked if she could paint with me today, and then we never found time to. So Rhino sits unfinished.
That's sad.
Yeah. But I love that she, wants to paint with me.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool. And totally came to it of her own vote. Like, I did not push that on her in any way.
Yeah. They're like sponges. They just want to do what you're doing.
Yeah. Well, I bought her a paint kit to do like a birdhouse for my wife for Mother's Day, and ever since then she's just like, Daddy, can we paint? I'm like, yeah, of course we can. Okay, yeah, that looks good. I'm happy with that. So I picked up my daughter at my parents' yesterday. It was in the middle of a thunderstorm, and she was riveted. All she wanted to do was watch the thunderstorm. And I'm like, yep, you are definitely my child. I love watching thunderstorms and listening to them and whatnot.
Yeah, it was really good here. fact, it was interesting seeing my cat's reactions. Ivory was like incredibly terrified.
Yeah.
Which is really weird. And it's not like he hasn't seen or had thunderstorms before. I don't know why it was really bad yesterday, but it's like lightning would flash and he would just dart from around the house to like the nearest window to look outside.
Yeah. There we go. Much better. All right, so we're looking at gold. All right, do I do the old paint it yellow, then paint it gold? No, that's gonna make a very orangey gold. I think we're just gonna go straight for the gold. And we are gonna go for antique gold, I think. Unless this dark bronze looks better. No. Go ahead and test your theory of anti-gravity metallic paints here. This is Green Stuff World Antique Gold. Rudy's theory is that when I take the cap off, it should defy gravity and just flow right up out of the top. Oh! The dropper just came out of it.
Oh yeah, that happens a lot too.
Well, that was different. Well. There we go. Fixed there. Yep, you are absolutely right. It's just bubbling right up out of the top.
I guess the other ones that that tends to work or happen to are my matte black and whites for some reason.
Yeah. Well, I think you need more medium to pull off.
Pigments. Or sorry.
Or yeah.
Like more medium for the really pigmenty.
Yeah. This is our first straight color of the day. And by that I mean not mixed. We took the kids on an awesome hike the other day.
How'd it go?
Really good. I love getting the students out into nature. Just watching them all kind of pull for each other and hang out with people. Because obviously everybody's taking it at their own pace, while still trying to maintain contact with the group. So you see kids hanging out with people who they wouldn't normally hang out with. And it was great. It was a good time. One of the fifth graders, buddy system, right? Everybody knows the buddy system. Everybody knows that you're supposed to, abide by it when you're out in the woods. And but we didn't force that upon the kids because it's a short enough hike. It's not. There's nothing dangerous going down, but everybody kind of buddied up. And one of the fifth graders, who I don't get to spend a whole lot of time with, I like her a lot, but I don't get to chat with her as much as I'd like, ended up being my buddy. And I was like, this is cool.
That's good.
Yeah.
One of my friends, he's a teacher, but he got his degree in history. That was kind of his focus for teaching. And when he got his current job, they did not have a history position open, so he ended up teaching technology. So he was, and they kind of just had this sort of nebulous sort of role for him. So he ended up doing dual enrollment for high school, for college and stuff. and then like obviously teaching computers and technology for all the grades.
Yeah.
Like elementary all the way through high school.
Yep. That was supposed to be my path.
Mm-hmm. But just this past year, they're like 2 years ago, the school hired a new history teacher, whose background and everything was teaching music. Like that was what his degree and studies were in.
What?
Yeah.
That's bizarre.
But then something happened, and like a music position opened, so that history teacher moved to go teach music because that is what he had studied in and was much better in, and so that opened up a history teaching position that my buddy then got to get moved into.
Sweet.
And so he's been setting himself up this past week after all the kids were gone, moving everything to the new classroom.
That's awesome. Good for him.
Mm-hmm.
I studied technical communication in college. That's what I did, and that basically, of my own doing, became a film degree. So I say I tell everyone I went to film school because it's something everybody understands. Technical communication tends to be a little bit more nebulous than than most people are willing to pay attention to. So yeah. So I do actually get to use my degree, because the things I teach.
What was that?
What was what?
Oh, sorry, my phone just buzzed at me.
Oh, okay.
But because my phone's like hooked up to my computer, the alert came through my headphones.
Right.
Like it's like wirelessly hooked up to my computer.
Gotcha. Everyone keeps telling me that I should go get another certification, go do this, that, the other. I don't want to teach math. I don't want to teach science. I enjoy teaching computers because I'm teaching creativity. Yeah. You know what I mean? There is distressingly little room for the teaching of creativity kind of in any other discipline. Even music or art, like the idea of teaching creativity in those classes is functionally destroyed.
Yeah.
I got to do that Final Fantasy VII Photoshop project, and the art teacher came to me and she's like, how did you justify doing that? I'm like, easy, I didn't. Like,
you just did it.
We just did it, and naturally it forced us to learn things that we needed to learn. And that sort of idea is just dead in education at this point. And that's it at every level. Like, I don't care, where people send their kids. I don't care where people send their kids to school. I would like them to send them to public school because that's where I teach and that's where I feel confident that I can give them the best education. But if you're not into that, then whatever, fine. Power to you. And I'm not the kind of person who lightly says that I'm the best at something. I'm not. I'm just quite good at it. And I know that. But I was talking to the math teacher the other day about how administrators, some of them, assume that want their teachers to know everything, to know all the answers. And the reality is we don't and can't, especially in my discipline.
Yeah.
Technology changes so flippin' fast that my answer more often than not is, I don't know, but let's go find out. And my previous administrator, it bothered her to no end that was my answer to things.
The irony of the situation is the constant trope of how technology is usually the young person's game.
Yep.
And so you always have the joke of how, like, the kids having to teach their parents how to open PDFs and stuff.
Yeah.
And so it's like the concept of you being a teacher teaching something that kind of societally is usually taught the other direction from young kids older.
Yeah.
Also kind of plays into that a little bit.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, yeah.
My educational philosophy, I definitely said this on the show before, is if I'm not learning from the kids every single day of my life, then I'm doing something wrong. Like, badly wrong. It should be every teacher's goal to learn from their students.
Mm-hmm. Nuln Oil.
Yeah. I was just considering going in that direction, but I think I'm actually going to do a little bit of proper low lighting first. Get out a really, really small brush and do that.
Yeah, I had done that. I had been working on, like I said, I had the base coat and wash done on the figures, and so after I threw the highlight layer, right now I moved on to just doing the bases, which was like, slap gray on the floor bits and like a dirt color on the sand bits.
Yeah.
And now I'm throwing the Nuln Oil and Agrax Earthshade over those bits.
I think that's how I ended up doing Blade last week too. I didn't finish him on camera, but Cara wanted to paint the next day, so I was like, all right, I'm just gonna finish Blade real fast. This model I may actually do without Nuln Oil. Shocker.
That's always fun. To be honest, white is usually one that I wouldn't end up using Nuln Oil. I would just do several like a gray shade to off-white to ivory to like matte white.
Yeah.
And just use all of that instead of the actual Nuln Oil. But a lot of these have so much like really dark grays and blacks that I was like, let me go ahead and just use the Nuln Oil. Yeah. And the Clone Troopers in particular have so many like lines and recesses and stuff that it just worked better to be able to let the Nuln Oil flow into like the grooves of their armor plates and the like visor slots and
yeah. Trying to get Hydra logo to show up here.
The Black Panther.
Matte white. I prefer Mark White, but
well, at least it's not Josh White.
Mm-hmm. I know Josh White.
Do you really?
Yeah. Could be Jack White.
Yeah, but Jack White's the man.
Mm-hmm. I had been listening to. Oh goodness, I don't know how long it had been. Like, obviously, I love the White Stripes. Like, they're a great band.
Mm-hmm.
I had been listening to my Pandora, and it was like coming on my like Cage the Elephant, I think, playlist or whatever. It's like the Raconteurs, which I did not realize was like a second band that Jack White had kind of formed with a couple other random guys from other bands.
Steady as
like,
she goes.
Yes.
Just listening to that yesterday.
It's kind of like the Hollywood Vampires with Alice Cooper, Joe Perry, and Johnny Depp.
Yes.
Or AC/DC with Axl Rose. Oh, shoot. I completely forgot that I had my glass of mead here.
Hey.
I've been so busy painting that I hadn't actually been drinking.
Yeah, I think my kombucha is largely unconsumed as well.
Slacking.
Well, I don't blink here, reminding me to drink it.
Exactly. I was like, "Where's Blink with our kombucha time?" No, this mead is actually stuff I made myself. I like fermented it.
Sick. I had some kombucha that we made in it was our class pet.
Yeah. Yeast could be considered a pet. It's living.
Well. Seeing as that's part of what SCOBY is.
Yeah.
We had the apple ginger kombucha yesterday. It was very, very, very good.
As I say, this mead is like a kind of a sub genre, for lack of better terms, of meads, of what's called a sizer.
Yep.
Which is instead of heating water and dissolving honey and then adding yeast, which those three ingredients is essentially what you mean when you say mead. There are different things. If you add fruit to it, it's a malomel. But what a sizer is instead of water, I used apple cider.
Yeah.
Heated it up, dissolved the honey, added the yeast, and then I like threw in some like cinnamon sticks and cloves and let it ferment in that, and got this.
Nice.
And it's awesome, and I love it.
I mean, that's the key, right?
Mm-hmm. I made it once around the holidays, and then I had done like a couple batches of more traditional type meads, but then decided to go back and do this one again because like the brew time or the fermenting time is about a month. So
yeah. Yeah, obviously we can't ferment mead in the classroom.
Obviously.
But kombucha was acceptable by the administration, so. Despite, yes, there being some level of alcohol in kombucha.
Thin brush. Matte White time.
Nice.
one of the other things I'd been doing this week, a friend of mine, he had, I think, oh, maybe not recently, but we had both picked up on the PC Gotham Knights, and we finally managed to get a time when we're like, oh, let's start playing this together. And so we actually got to do like the co-op of Gotham Knights, which I never did when I played through when that came out originally.
Nice.
I just kind of did I just played by myself as I went through. So
that's what I did too.
It's a completely different ball game.
Is it?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. He's ended up playing Nightwing, and I'm playing Robin again. But with all of my with Robin's base in stealth stuff, having my buddy play Nightwing when we get into situations of combat or like enemy lairs and stuff like that, he just ends up like I set myself up, I sneak in, I get to some spots, and I try and do some stealth kills and whatnot, and then he can just kind of jump into combat, draw a bunch of attention, and then I just start sneaking in and picking some off from the like back ranks of stuff while they focus on him.
Nice.
And it adds like a interesting tactical mechanic to utilize both of the characters' strengths together.
That's cool.
So it's been interesting getting a chance to play it again.
I didn't hate that game. Like,
yeah.
It was not what I wanted, but it was fun.
Yeah, it wasn't outstanding, but like I really enjoyed it a lot. Like I had a lot of fun playing it.
Oh, this is looking really cool.
So yeah, hopped on with him a couple times this past week and got a chance to play. We didn't get too far. We had to obviously do the like training mission in the first night of patrol by ourselves before we unlocked co-op mode.
Right.
But after that, we've been having a pretty good time.
That's good. I'm glad to hear some love for that game. It especially after Suicide Squad just being actually bad. Which, what a shame. I really
and actually by Rocksteady.
Yeah, right. I really wanted that game to be successful.
Yeah.
As soon as I heard it was a service game, I was like, "What are you doing? This is stupid." That might have been excessive, but I'm run with it anyway.
I looked at the clock and I'm like, it's like 11:15. We've been. I'm just so used to that being almost halfway. I'm like, how are we only halfway through?
Yeah,
tonight?
no, we've only got 20 minutes left. That's what we get for going early. But I do think it was the right call.
Oh, most definitely.
Because all right, there's that. I'm towing that line between like too much low lighting and not quite enough.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'm pretty much there. I frequently wonder how much of miniatures painting actually translates to like painting on a canvas.
Don't know.
I've never tried, so
I still look at some, like, if I'm looking at a canvas painting and like seeing sometimes like blending a sunset from like your oranges to the like in like
Yeah.
I understand how to do that on a miniature to like have a cape go from like a really deep red to a lighter red,
Yeah.
but when looking at a painting I'm just like I feel like I should understand how this works, but I just don't.
I don't. Yeah.
I've always been interested. You know, there's like those. They usually do them for like couples date type things, and it's
Yeah.
you like get to taste some wine and try out like a canvas, and they have like a paint by numbers type thing or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've always wanted to do one of those, just to see. Okay, let me have someone kind of walk me through
Yeah.
like actual painting and see what's the same, what's different, how it translates, how it doesn't. But alas, I've never done that.
Nor have I.
I'm not sure if they let single guys do that now, but
I mean, I'm sure they have, programs that are not just couples nights.
yeah, probably.
I mean, I know they do because my wife used to go with her friends.
Yeah, I guess they may have like group nights that aren't necessarily like related exclusively to couples, but
Yeah. But it is generally associated with,
social gatherings, not just
yeah.
Nope, don't want to use that.
Not just people with academic curiosity such as us. Would love to know where my flesh shade went. Nope, that's sepia. That's fine. Use some regularity too. Frequent flesh shade, there you are. if I also grabbed a brush that I traditionally use for inking.
I know we say it so often when we, or at least when I'm painting these, but Atomic Mass games, like their minis are like so dynamic at times. Like a lot of them,
Yeah, at
like,
times.
and they're done so well. Yeah.
Other times they're just like Dr.
Yeah.
Octopus, for example.
Yes.
Which, okay, Scandal noted that was their first mini, but even so. Alright, now I am going to use a little bit of green shade on him just to kind of achieve that look. Hopefully this doesn't make him too shiny. No, it won't. Okay, that's the good one. Just to get a little bit more smoothness out of it. Hard to touch the Citadel shade paints. As much as we poop on Citadel, their shades are fire. said I wasn't going to use melon oil on this mini, but I think I am going to use a very, very, very small amount. It's because he's got an H on his belt that I'm not going to be able to get no matter how hard I try, so... That'll do it. Alright, gotta do some highlighting on his head. I'm trying to figure out what issue he was holding fire in, because that seems a little strange to me. And I guess that means I'm going to have to do old school Nick Fury coming up pretty soon, too.
Nice.
I do have that.
The Hoff.
The Hoff. In fact, I'm reasonably sure that's what we nicknamed him.
Oh.
Because C-27 uses the weird.
Yeah. The not copyright names?
Yeah, yeah. I think there might be a mosquito floating around under my desk, because my leg is suddenly very itchy. And I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised because I did put my air conditioner in yesterday.
I was about to say, about 10 seconds before you said that, I thought I did hear some sort of buzzing of something that I was wondering what it was, but if it may or may not have been a mosquito that went right by the microphone.
I mean, maybe. This is a pretty high intensity mic, but I've got it, you know, compressed into oblivion, so.
Yeah. Maybe I was just hearing things, but in just happenstance.
matching things up here a little bit before we call time.
Yeah, I'm just doing the finishing touches of lightening up the grays, like the really dark gray with a wash to a lighter gray, blended for shadows and stuff for their pauldrons and everything.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm probably going to do a little bit of highlighting next time with some of these green bits, but like I'm pretty happy with how this came out. Just flat color into black. And using lots of different flat colors. He definitely looks like an elite Hydra agent, and that's what I was going for. But I gotta figure out what color this flame is that he's holding.
Green.
Probably green, which actually makes it very, very easy since I just painted a bunch of green flame last week on Blade. And I know... Oh no, it's yellow. It's like regular flame. Huh. Well, what do you know? A little learning and growing here at the end of the show. Alright. Well, that also makes it very, very straightforward. It's actually a very red flame. I'm not upset about that. I really do love it when they sculpt, whether it be C27 or AMG or whomever, sculpt something to look very like 1960s, 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And Strucker they did a nice job with this. The other option I was thinking of today was to start the Daughters of the Dragon, but with the Comic-Con tomorrow, possibly finishing up my Iron Fist run, kind of want to make that something special.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it might be in our best interest to call it a night and go to bed. What do you think?
Yeah.
I think we can get back at these next time. All right, here's Baron Strucker as he stands. He's looking pretty all right.
Here's Commander Wolf.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with these. All right, well. Thank you for tuning in tonight. Thank you for watching on YouTube. Those who do, make sure you like and subscribe and all that stuff that everybody says that's kind of annoying, but I'm going to be annoying too. I can be annoying. Broody and I will try to be back next week. We always do. Things get in the way, but we're 2 for 2 in the last 2 weeks. Look at us. And I will definitely be back on Monday for Zach Sucks Games. And then Thursday, we will be doing the big unboxing of the Switch 2, along with building some boxes for some of my more exciting retro games here in my collection that I've got reproduction boxes coming in for. So that'll be a fun show as well. First episode of ALD Retro Mods. Oh, Blake, it is kombucha time. Cheers. He gets in just under the wire. All right. Take care, everybody. Be safe. Be well. And we'll talk soon. Bye.
See ya.